This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Applied Botanics. Applied Botanics offers a great line of CBD oils, including a line for pets. Now, I've been using their products for the last 2 months. I really wanted to test it out before I started promoting it to listeners of this podcast, and I have to say, I experienced some great benefits. They have 5 different products, which include comfort, focus, recovery, tranquility, and vitality. The 3 that I utilized the most were comfort, focus, and tranquility. Comfort really provided me with stress and anxiety relief. I just started a new job 2 months ago, so between that and the fact that we're still living in a pandemic, comfort really slowed things down for me, and at the end of the day, kept that anxiety and stress at bay. Their focus line also helps me during podcasts. It helps me to really focus on what my guests are saying, which enables me to ask the important questions and really pull back the layers of who they are. And finally, and possibly my favorite that I felt great benefits from, is tranquility. I take it 30 minutes or so before bed, and it really helps deliver me into that deeper sleep faster than I would without it. I wake up feeling refreshed and ready to take on the day. Now, oftentimes people are skeptical of CBD oil, especially when it comes to the price. But whether you're curious about CBD or have used CBD products before, you will find that Applied Botanics CBD is nearly half the cost of other brands. Their thoughts are that using CBD should not require a payment plan. On top of that, listeners of this podcast can get an additional 30% off their first purchase using the code word Popko Project at checkout. So head over to appliedbotanics.com where you can learn more about all their products. And if you decide to make a purchase, use code word Popko Project for 30% off. Applied Botanics. Live healthy and happy. This episode of the podcast is also brought to you by Keller's Garden Center, Lawn Care, and Landscaping Services. Working hard so you don't have to. They will take care of mowing, edging, pruning, trimming, shrubs, mulching, planting, and landscaping. Call them today for affordable and free estimates, weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly weeding and cutting services. And new this year is the Keller's Garden Center. They just moved to a new location across the street from their old location, and the Garden Center will offer landscape design and installation, mulch, rock, plants, trees, and more. They are located on 7 Kern Street in Exeter, PA. Call them today at 570-299-7240. Again, working hard so you don't have to. My guest today is a singer, producer, and artist currently residing in Los Angeles. I first met her when she was the bass player for the rock band Another Day Dawns. We discuss her departure from that band, writing, recording, and producing her own music, and what it's been like living in LA over the last year during the pandemic. She has 10 songs available on all the streaming services, some surpassing 50,000 streams and one over 105,000 streams. I have always really enjoyed her music and had a lot of fun catching up with her since the last time we spoke. Welcome to the show, Livi Dillon. And we're live.
All right.
Welcome to the show, Livi Dillon.
Thank you.
And you are on the West Coast, correct?
I am. I'm in Los Angeles.
Very cool, and we'll get into that too. But I have not seen you. I don't know if you remember this or not. But last time I saw you was probably 2.5 years ago. We were with Rich Howells for NEPAC, and we were eating chicken wings.
Yes, I remember that because I wore lipstick that day, and I was like, "Oh, this is a mess."
Good thing. Oh, hopefully it's not tested on animals, right?
No,
it's all good.
Yes,
all good. You can eat your lipstick. It's fine. So you guys were all like, rock starred out and eating chicken wings and trying not to get. And we're on camera too, so obviously we're trying not to
not to make a complete mess.
Yeah. So it's been a while. So thanks for doing this. Obviously,
of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've seen these at all, but I've been kind of just, I had a radio show, as you know. I featured a few of your songs on that show. It got what they call put on hiatus back in October. And I didn't know what that meant. A hiatus to me could mean a week or two, or it could be never again.
Yeah.
I'm a father, so hiatus to me is like telling your kid, I'll think about it, or we'll see, just to kind of get you or get them to stop bothering you. So I decided to start this podcast where I could still talk to artists and just kind of be a part of their lives. And if I could be of any help to promote their music, that's what I wanted to do. So I know that since we last spoke, you have been pumping out a ton of music, it seems.
Yes, I have.
So let's start from kind of when I was introduced to you. I'm not going to ask you to go into details unless you want to, because I don't know how things ended, and I'm not here to be that guy. So, but I know that when we met, when you were on Rich's show, you were with the band Another Day Dawns.
Yes.
You were the bass player. And I feel like shortly after that interview, and I could be wrong with the timeline because my brain is shit these days, but you left the band shortly after that interview. Yeah,
it was probably, I don't know, I want to say maybe 6 months after that or something.
Yeah. I went back and looked. I think that interview was 2018 in November. So
yeah, because I think I left in July of 2019.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. So you left that band. I will allow you to elaborate on that if you'd like to.
Yeah.
What happened?
I love those guys still. They're amazing, and I'm so happy with everything they've been doing. But for me, it just got to a point where I kind of realized I wanted to be doing more. I wanted to be putting out my own music. I wanted to be getting better at producing. And, I just wanted to do different things with my career than we were doing. So I decided to part ways with them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
That's what happens a lot of times. It's just, people just want to do different things. There's nothing wrong with
just
that.
Different things we wanted to do, different goals. So.
Yeah. So then you took off to LA.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Was that planned? You're young, so a lot of young people, and I'm jealous of this. They can just kind of go off on a whim and they can just take those risks and take the chances, and which is awesome. Even when I was younger, I never took those risks. So I'm jealous a little bit of those who were able to do that, because it could be scary. So
it was definitely a quick decision, because I was in Pennsylvania still until March of 2020. And I had decided to move to LA at, I think, the beginning of 2020. I just decided I wanted to do it. I was like, the weather's great. Makes more sense musically. So I picked up and moved 3 months later.
And obviously, a month or two after that, we had COVID. So yeah,
I actually moved to LA the week lockdown went into effect. So that was an experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I can't imagine that LA has been everything you thought and hoped it would be.
In a lot of ways, no. It's still great. For the first 3 months of living here, I knew nobody. I don't think I saw another person in real life for 3 months because everything was in lockdown and there's nowhere to meet people. But slowly but surely, I met people, and now things are starting to reopen. Everybody's getting vaccinated and it's getting back to normal. The tourists are all back. So Hollywood is back to normal for sure.
Okay, well, that's good. I was concerned about big cities like LA and New York and how they would rebound. Obviously they would. I don't think there's any choice in the matter. They have to, but it's one of those things. How long would it be?
Surprisingly, because LA was one of the epicenters for a couple months over the winter. Because I ended up going home for the holidays, and then I just stayed for a few months because I was like, it's so bad in LA right now. But now we're doing really well. I think I just read an article today that we're supposed to enter the yellow tier in the next few weeks, which is the lowest restrictions. So that's good.
Wow. And I hear there's like a lot of like a homeless issue.
Yes, they are.
That's unfortunate.
I know. Hopefully they will fix it. I know, people have been talking about it for a long time because it's not good. It's not good for the people who end up homeless. It's not good for anybody else. It's just, get them off the street. You can afford to do it realistically.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I was asked a question one time. It was one of those, if you could do anything in, the world, what would you do? And I felt like very cliche, but I answered I would end homelessness just because like no one deserves to be homeless,
No, and it's unnecessary.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. It really is. But it's unfortunately that's what we have to deal with. But hopefully people smarter than me can figure it out.
I hope so. I know. I heard they're trying to clean up Skid Row in downtown. They're going to try to get all of those people into some form of housing. So hopefully they actually do that.
Is that the area where that hotel was?
Yeah, the Cecil Hotel.
Yes.
That's right around there.
That was a bizarre. I don't know if you watched that documentary.
I did. Yeah.
It was bizarre.
It
was like interesting, but then I kind of felt duped at the end because it was like, oh, she's just crazy.
Like, so actually it wasn't, there's nothing spooky going on. Yeah. No murderers, just a mental health crisis.
Yeah. Which I feel, and maybe you could speak to this too. I mean, as a musician, I've been concerned with musicians and their mental health. And just because a lot of musicians, a part of being a musician is playing out live to fans and friends and family and just kind of having that outlet. And without having that now, I mean, I can't imagine being deprived of doing something that I love to do. And unfortunately, I've never been put in that situation. So I can't speak to it maybe as well as you could, but how has the last year of your life kind of been affected, whether it's mental health or, just creativity or whatever it may be?
Yeah, it's definitely been weird. In some ways it's been good. And in some ways it's been really hard. It's been nice because like for most of last year, I had nothing to do but make music in my apartment. But at the same time, like I haven't played a live show in over a year now. And coming from, touring and being in Another Day Dawns and playing live all the time, it's really weird to not be able to do that anymore. So it's definitely, I don't know, it was weird for a while trying to find the balance of like still doing music and still being excited about it, even with everything going on.
Yeah. A lot of people that I talk to have been able to see the positives through it and, maybe have done things that they wouldn't have done if they were on tour and they could focus on their own music. Which has been great. Thankfully, I have not run into anybody who's like, been like really like, down and out. I hope that I don't, but I'm sure there are people out there obviously that have been affected by it. But I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, you've been putting out music nonstop. I feel like over the past 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I was looking today on Spotify. You have one song that's over 105,000 streams, which is wild. He just released a new song, Religion, on April 23rd. That's already over 35,000 streams. I don't know when this is going to be posted. So today is May 3rd. So just a reference for those listening or watching. So April 23rd to now, which is about 2 weeks. Not even.
No, a little less. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's pretty impressive as far as. Yeah. So what do you? I mean, obviously you have a bunch of music. I think you have 10 singles out.
Oh my gosh, I know there's so much.
But I mean, like I said, like you have, 3 of them are over 50,000 streams. You have the one that's over 105,000. Like, what are you doing to get your music out there? As you create it on your own.
It's a lot of promoting in a lot of different ways. I do a lot of ad-based marketing, a lot of pitching my music to different publications and playlists and various things like that. And also just through meeting people out here and having more people sharing it when it comes out.
And what kind of people are you meeting out there?
I've been really lucky, and I met a bunch of people who actually live in the same building as me who also all do music. So like through them, I just keep meeting more and more musicians, which is awesome. That's the point of moving to LA.
That's the goal, right? Yeah. Now, I mean, do you write and produce and record all of your own stuff?
Yeah, I do all of it start to finish here in my apartment.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Every instrument, like?
Yeah, all of it.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your first release?
It was Wanted.
Okay.
Wow, that feels like so long ago now.
I forget when I played that song on the radio.
I think
it's that one.
Yeah, it must have come out in, I think, August of 2019.
Okay.
So yeah, a long time ago now.
It probably feels like longer than it really is because of the whole past year. But
I know.
But yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, so you write it, you record it, you produce it. That's really cool.
Yeah, it is super great because I have the freedom to release a lot of music quickly. You know, it's my own timeline, and when I finish a song, I can just be like, okay, like I'm going to release it 4 weeks from now, and you know, I have freedom with releasing music.
Right. And now, do you have a background? I mean, I'm assuming you have some kind of background, so that's kind of a stupid question, but like, I've known you as a bass player, right? Mm. Did you go to school prior to that? Like, how did that all happen?
Yeah, I went to 2 different music schools in high school. I first started as a voice major, and then I studied songwriting at a boarding school for 2 years, right before joining the band. So, and then even throughout being in the band, I still wrote a lot on my own and recorded stuff. I think I actually might have released music while I was in the band, but I didn't really ever like post about it or anything. And it's not there anymore. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. And then I've just been doing it for a while. So I've picked up some things and lots of YouTube tutorials.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that's great about the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Is you can kind of teach yourself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as far as, you know, doing your own thing, writing, recording, producing, you know, how outside of the fact that you're kind of on your own and you can kind of do what you want to do. I'm probably sure I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask it anyways. You know, do you like that part more, doing that than being a part of a band?
Honestly, I really loved doing both in different ways, you know, like
I knew it.
Yeah. Cause being in the band and playing live shows like that, it's so fun, and having that sense of family, being in a group like that. It's really fun. And I mean, also like rock music is just so much fun to play live. The shows were always great. But I also do love the more technical and business aspects of doing my own music and putting that out there and being able to just make whatever I want to make whenever I want to. Right.
And I feel like you left Another Day Dawns right before, I mean, they were solid when you were part of the group. Mm-hmm. But I feel like you left and they were kind of taking off to another level.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of any regret at all? Like, is there a part of you that was like, oh man, you know what, that band's doing really well. That would have been cool to be on those tours and to meet, you know, members like Breaking Benjamin and things like that. I mean, is that like sometimes in the back of your head saying like, that would have been cool?
I mean, it's definitely there. I mean, you know, who wouldn't feel that a little bit? But at the same time, I think ultimately it all ended up working out for the best. You know, they're doing great. They're playing festivals this year. They've gone on some crazy tours. I'm in LA releasing music. You know, we're all very happy with where we're at. And I think we're all doing really well with the things we wanted to do.
For sure. I figured that was the answer as well, but I had to ask it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something like, I don't know that life. I don't know like any part of it. I don't know the, you know, being a solo act or being a part of a band. Mm-hmm. I mean, I always had aspirations of like, being in a band. I've never played music before, so that's never happened. Never going to happen. So my connection to it is doing things like this, and the radio show, and knowing the guys like John Phillips and Aaron Brock from Rick and Benjamin. I kind of live vicariously through them.
Yeah.
But it was just never in the cards. I always tell my mom, she always she wanted me to take banjo lessons. So
banjo.
Right. So it wasn't even like, hey, take guitar lessons, which I probably wouldn't have wanted to do. But she took the other angle of take banjo lessons. So that wasn't even at all cool.
No.
But now, growing up and being, wishing I was able to play in a band, I say to my mom, you made me go to bed when I didn't want to go to bed. You made me take a shower when I didn't want to shower. You made me do all these things I didn't want to do, but you couldn't make me take guitar lessons.
Yeah. It's okay. Honestly, when I was a kid, my mom made me take piano lessons and I hated every second of it. And I was so stubborn. She eventually let me quit because I was just so mad about these piano lessons. And then I don't know, 6 years later, I was like, oh, I want to do music. So I don't know. I think all kids just hate music lessons.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to play sports. I did play sports, but my parents didn't want to tell me that, hey, you're 5'9" and you're average at best. You're not going to make it to the NBA.
Yeah.
You're not going to play football. You're small. You should do this instead. And made a bigger pitch for it, but they didn't. But whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. And everyone says, oh, it's never too late to learn. And it's well, it kind of is. I'm 38. I got a wife. I got a kid. Any of my spare time, right now, is either sleeping or doing this. So it's I guess I could try and learn music instead of doing this, but
it's just there's other things I'd rather do.
Yeah. I mean, it's not gonna, I don't know. But so you just released a new song a week and a half ago. What are the plans for 2021 as we mentioned the world kind of opening back up and hopefully getting back to what they call normal. What are the plans for this year?
Definitely releasing more music. Ideally, I would love to get back into playing live shows. I'm not exactly sure when that'll be possible, probably this summer. I've got a music video shoot scheduled for this summer. So I've got a new video coming out sometime this year. Just keep going, keep releasing music. I'm also opening a studio is not really the right word, but I'm opening my apartment to record for other people and produce for other people. So I'm getting started with that this year. So that's exciting.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
Very cool. Isn't it, you say when you're playing out, I mean, do you have people that help you do those shows, or do you do them stripped down acoustic solo, or how does that work?
I haven't fully decided how I'm going to do it yet. I think I've played one show as a solo artist and I just used backtracks going through the speakers. I think what I'm going to end up doing is a combo of backtracks and some live players. I really want to have a live drummer, maybe somebody doing synthy stuff, and then me on some instruments for different songs. So I haven't really figured it all out yet because, there's been no opportunity to try it.
Right. Well, in a perfect world, I guess you would be forced to figure it out.
Yeah.
No, I love your music. I think it's great. It fits the how do I say it? The alternative format, I guess you could say. That is, here and now.
Yeah.
Where do you get inspiration for your music?
Generally just from my own life, whatever's happening, whatever I've been thinking about, reflecting on past things a lot of the time.
Yeah. Love. There's a few songs that are, I think, geared towards love and maybe failed love, or.
Yeah, there's a lot of for a while, it was a lot of just, like heartbreak songs. I'm starting to write more now about mental health related things. I kind of just write about whatever's been weighing on me recently. Writing's always been a therapeutic thing for me. It's a way to like get out whatever I'm feeling and thinking.
Yeah. I was always curious because like some people can write about like, different stories or the, different scenarios that they're not even going through, which I thought was like very interesting because like, if I was, someone to write music, I think I would have to write it about, what's going on in my life, whether it's happiness or sadness or whatever it might be. So I think it's interesting when people are able to do that. I mean, are you kind of both, or do you kind of, like you said, you kind of write about what you're going through at the moment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm also always amazed by people who can write about, other people's stories or stories that they're just, thinking about, things that never happened to them. Because I've never really been that kind of songwriter. It's always been just me writing about whatever's going on in my life. I'm sure if I really tried, I could do it, but it's just never really been my thing.
Yeah. I mean, there are some great storytellers that are, singer-songwriters out there.
Yeah.
What are some of your inspirations? Or who?
That shouldn't be such a hard question, but I just I listen to so much and I love drawing inspiration from all of it. A really big inspiration for me is Jack Antonoff. He produces for Lorde, Taylor Swift. He's Bleachers.
I don't think people know that a lot.
No, I know. I didn't even really connect all of it. I've always loved like Taylor Swift and Lorde and like all of these different bands he was in or people he produced for. And then like recently I connected that it was all him. And it's like, oh, like I just love Jack Antonoff.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's a big inspiration for me as a producer.
That's cool. Yeah, we had him play one or two shows, I think, at when we were Fuzz or Alt. I forget which time, but yeah, he's good stuff. Who else? Anything?
I love Kay Flay.
What has she been doing lately?
She just put out a song, and I think she put out in a little EP a little bit ago that was covers of these different punk songs, which was really cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Because like I feel like she was like in it for a minute, like. And then kind of disappeared. I know she played at the theater at the radio station, and then she went down and played a club in Wilkes-Barre. And I think she played on a show with Jack Antonoff that we had as well.
Yeah.
So I was familiar with her just through the radio station, and I really liked her music. But I feel like she was there, and then she was gone. Yeah. Yeah,
she was. I don't think she put anything out for a while, and then she's just started putting more stuff out. So that's cool. I love her music. It's just so interesting what she does lyrically and musically. I always think it's so cool.
Her voice is different too.
Yeah, like her whole sound is just a little different, and it's really cool.
It is cool. Who else? I keep cutting you off, and I apologize.
That's okay. I'm trying to think. I can never think of people on the spot. You would think this would be so much easier as a musician.
Hey, guy, on the spot. Let's go.
Oh, the band Paris is another big one for me. I love them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar, but I'll write it down because one reason I like doing this as well, because I'm introduced to new stuff. Yeah,
that's another one. I love their lyrics. And the production is always really cool too. It's just, all around something I really enjoy and would like to do similar things to.
Yeah.
Honestly, Taylor Swift has been a big inspiration throughout my whole life and career. Taylor Swift is the reason I decided to do music. I saw her live when I was 13 and I was like, that's what I want to do. So
that's not a bad person to follow for sure.
Yeah.
She's just a little successful.
Just a little,
a little
she's
bit.
Not super big.
Not at all. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate her music. Was it last year she dropped the 2 albums, or was that the year before that?
Last year, I think.
I can't keep them. I can't keep
track of the timeline for anything anymore. It all blurs together.
But yeah, those were two great albums too.
Mm-hmm.
And the one before that was really, I mean, they're all really good. Like,
yeah,
I don't really care for her music prior to, I want to say like 2014.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, ever since then, I've been a big fan.
Yeah. I've always liked her, even through like, as I've gone through different phases of what type of music I listen to, like somehow I always just come back to Taylor Swift and I'm like, this really is good.
Now, is that like, do you think that's for you personally? Is that an age thing where like, you're just in a different point of your life, or is that a mood thing where you're just kind of like, you might find new artists through, a Spotify algorithm or?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both, like I've gone through different, like there've been a lot of different genres that I'll be really into for a while. And then like, I'll find another genre that I really love. And yeah, I think it is just an age thing. And like, as I grow up and I just start appreciating different types of music in different ways.
Yeah. It's funny how that happens. I still like a lot of what I liked when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I really grew out of anything per se.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely not throwing on Biggie or 50 Cent or Nelly like I used to when I was 20 or. But I still like the music. I mean, I still appreciate what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I definitely outgrew some stuff. I had a terrible emo phase when I was like 15. I listened to all of the really,
but that's all good stuff.
So a lot of it is the stuff that I listened to is not.
Like what?
I was a Blood on the Dance Floor fan.
Okay, I'm not familiar.
You're lucky.
Want to write it down?
It's really not even worth it. The singer is like bad stuff.
Okay. Well, what is your emo? Because I mean, I have what my emo is. So
yeah, I was the like emo that real emo kids looked at and were like, ew. All of the just really cringy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, my emo was Yellow Card, Dashboard Confessional. Oh, now I'm drawing blanks. Taking Back Sunday, things like that. My Chemical Romance. That was my emo.
Yeah, I was like the cringy, honestly, more like scene kid, emo kid kind of stuff. Yeah, weird stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I outgrew most of that, but like My Chemical Romance, of course, like they're great.
Yeah, it was. But was it last year they were supposed to come back?
Yeah,
a lot of bands last year.
Mm-hmm. They're playing some festivals this year.
Yeah, but did you see the ticket prices on those?
I know, because I was going to buy tickets to Aftershock because Another Day Dawns is playing. And I was like, I'm going to go see them. But the day they're playing sold out. And like all the resales are like $500.
Yeah, nuts. Yeah, last year was such a like, not just because of like it shut everything down, but there was so many cool things that were happening last year that like just reunion tours and just like, it's just great things that just really got. And I don't really get excited for New Year's. Like, I'm not that kind of guy, like, New Year, new me, or, it's a fresh start. It's this, that, the other thing. Like, but for the first time that I can ever remember, I was like, this year is going to be the best year yet. Mm-hmm. Like, just as far as my career was concerned and everything in my life, I was like, this is going to be the best year yet. And it was probably hands down the worst year of my entire life outside of the COVID stuff. Like,
yeah, just in general, it was rough.
Personal stuff. And just, man, what a shit show.
I feel you. I was the same way. I was like, 2020 is going to be amazing. I'm moving to LA. Like, I'm going to release so much music. I'm going to play all these shows, do all these things. And then just, everything got thrown out the window.
Yeah. And who would have thought that could happen? I know it's like.
Who could have seen it coming? I mean, it feels so normal now in a way. Like, it's like, oh yeah, like COVID. But I think back to like when I was getting ready to move out here, I was panicking. My family was panicking. We were all trying to decide if I should even go. Like, I remember like I was trying to figure out if they were going to like close down airports and stop domestic travel. And, it was so intense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But hopefully we can put it in the rearview mirror and move on.
Yes, hopefully soon.
Yeah. So one question I want to ask, and I think we talked about this when we were with Rich Howells. What's it? Obviously, and unfortunately, we're still living in a world that I don't want to say men dominate because that's not the right word. But you know what I'm trying to get at. I mean, what's it like for you? And it's great that we have people like Taylor Swift that they're paving the way and knocking down those walls. But what have you experienced, being a female artist, being a female bass player, producer, whatever it might be? I mean, what are the obstacles that you've been, that you've had to overcome and get through?
I mean, the biggest thing I've found throughout being in the band and even now is, it's a lot harder to get respect from people. You kind of have to prove yourself first because, you like meet people and you're like, oh yeah, like I'm a singer, I do this. And they're like, oh, okay, whatever. Until like, you kind of have to like show them like, no, like I'm serious. Like I really do this. I really produce. I really sing. I really play bass, whatever. There's a lot of just, assuming that I have no idea what I'm doing. Just because I'm a girl. There was a lot when I was in the band. A lot of people assumed that like I was just there to look hot on stage. And then, like I would have sound guys ask me if I knew how to turn on my amp. And I was like, I mean, I hope so.
Right.
Like,
that's
I mean, yeah, it's like, yes, I know how to use my gear. So I feel like that's definitely the biggest thing. Just, it's a lot more work to earn people's respect as a woman doing music.
Do you think you could take that as an advantage in that there might be less clutter?
Yeah, honestly, like there have been benefits to me being a woman doing this also, especially with like now that I'm producing for other people. A lot of my clients are other female artists who might feel a little too intimidated to like reach out to a man to produce because, they just feel like they're not.
We're scumbags. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just weird. So it's nice in that way. Like there's a lot more connections and a lot more work to be had, like specifically working with other women who feel the same way. So that's been really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine like though too, like, it's like, oh, I produced this, and then someone's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then you can play it, or you can say, yeah, like, what, you did this, like, and it's almost like a what, like this isn't me.
Yeah, it's kind of funny in some ways, like when that happens, because you're like, no, like I wasn't lying, like I told you I do this.
Yeah, well, that's cool though too. It's unfortunate we have to have. I mean, it goes for sex and race and all those things, and
yeah, I
don't want to get into that during this, but I mean. We've just come out, I think, of a very divisive year.
Yes.
The past year. So hopefully, getting through COVID and moving on, we can kind of, I don't want to say heal because that's not the right word either, but like, it's just, I don't know. We've just been so like at each other. And
I know. I hope people can find more understanding.
Yeah.
For everybody else,
And I don't think social media helps. I say this every episode that I do. It just, I think it's just, it's too easy for people to hide behind a computer and say things to people they would never say to their, that person's face.
Yeah.
It's just trash. It
is. I always say if it wasn't for the fact that I need to be on social media for my career,
right, I
probably wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
Like I have friends who don't have social media and they just seem so much happier not having to be on it all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think about that. It's like, I don't know what I would do without it almost like,
yeah,
like part of my life. It's disgusting, but like, it's true.
Yeah. And it's awful because it's like, it kind of has to be when you have some kind of job in the entertainment industry or you're, something that relies on social media. It's like, well, I have to be on it all the time, but also I hate that I'm on it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe there's a way they can clean that up too in the whole process. I don't know. I doubt it.
Yeah.
It's just people are shitty. It's amazing. Just But
yes.
I digress. But well, listen, I wish you the best of luck with your future music releases. Obviously all your music is available on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere else that people should go to.
All of the above. Wherever you listen to music, it's probably there.
Bandcamp?
No, actually.
Oh shit. Sorry.
That's one of those things I keep being like, oh yeah, like I should get on there. That's a good idea. And then I forget.
Yeah, they do this like Bandcamp Fridays, I think it is, and people buy your music. Which I mean, I don't know that anyone's buying music anymore.
I know. Well, that's kind of been my thing. I'm like, oh, like I should probably get on Bandcamp. Like that's just another place to be sharing my music. But then at the same time, like who's buying music?
Yeah, it's weird.
Spotify and Apple Music exist. So
yeah, you're probably too young to really to remember like albums. Like, I mean, yeah. Believe it or not, there were artists that sold millions of records.
I know. I mean, like I vaguely remember stuff like that, but by the time I started making music, it was Spotify and streaming and I don't know.
I fought for the longest time. I was one of those guys. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna buy the CD. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it was kind of two things happened. Artists stopped releasing full length albums. So yeah, like I grew up doing that. Like I would buy an album from Joe Nardone's Gallery of Sound. I would put it on my computer. I would transfer it to my iPod, and I would be on my way. Some of my CDs are in like excellent condition because they were never seen the light of day almost. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I jumped on the Spotify. I think I have Spotify. I have Apple, and I have Amazon as well. Mm-hmm. It's just too convenient.
I know. Yeah. And it's like, as a listener, of course I love Spotify. As an artist, I'm like, well, this sucks, but it's like, it's not going to go away because you can't beat the convenience of it.
Right. Yeah. It's a double-edged sword, I think. Mm-hmm. I always loved getting the albums because it was, the artwork and there were lyrics inside and like, yeah.
Well, vinyls are coming back. I have like a whole stack.
Don't get me started on vinyls. You know what? Shut that record player up and throw it in the trash.
Honestly, I just like buying because I always liked, I would buy CDs and stuff when I was younger too because I liked the artwork and I liked having lyrics and stuff like that. So like I get vinyls just because I like the
it's fine. But like, I mean, you're not getting better sound quality out of a vinyl record.
No, that record sounds awful. I never actually play it.
Thank you. I have friends that try to.
That's terrible.
Dude, it's this. I'm like, shut up. No.
I mean, maybe if you buy like a really nice system and speakers and everything, but by itself, it sounds terrible. Yeah,
but it's so big too. Like even CDs. Like I mean, like here's my record collection now. Like right. Like, it's. I don't know. I mean, I love my CD collection. I hope that one day, I keep it now because I hope one day my son will maybe like come across it and be like, "Oh, what's this?" And I can kind of like share with him. It'll be
cool and retro by then.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I can't remember the last time I bought a CD, which I hate.
Same because I mean, like cars don't even have CD players.
They don't.
Like my car doesn't have a CD player. I was like, wow.
Yeah. I come from the old school where we had like books and like you went on a road trip and you had this like, or like 5 like binders full of music. And the fun of that was like leafing through them, like, and it would take you the entire CD that you were listening to find something else because there was so many of them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Those are simpler times too.
They
really were. What a trade-off. We go all digital and the world's turning to shit over social media when we could just we could stay with cassettes and CDs and records, whatever. But here we are.
Yeah.
But listen, I know it's early where you are, so I don't want to like take up your night. So I'll let you go. Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate your time. I love your music.
Thanks.
It's cool that you took a leap of faith and moved out to LA and during a crazy time. I didn't know that. I thought you was older than that, but I wish you the best of luck with everything. And if there's everything I can do to help you along the way, me and my 5 listeners will be more than happy to assist in that.
Thanks.
Livi Dillon, thank you again. Great seeing you.
Great seeing you too. Well, through the computer.
Yeah. Hey, I said before, I mean, like, I'm thankful, like, as much as I hate doing it via Zoom because the audio kind of can suck and you can have glitches and delays or whatever. This is better than nothing. So again, thank you very much. And I will not creepily follow you on the internet.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks.